All right, client work. So this is going to be the first video of me talking about a client project. This is one I just wrapped up today. It's for a DJ called Say It. I think it's a duo, might not just be one guy, but this is the animation that I created. So I'm going to walk you through how it started, talking to the client, how I actually made this, some fun, and then showing you how I went about exporting and sending him my file. So everything is fully finished. So it first started, he just sent me an email and said, hey, I'm a DJ. I need a logo design and I need an album cover and an animation. So I shot him a price, we agreed on the price, and he gave me a pointer. So basically, he asked for sort of a purpley design, and he just told me deep house pop vibes. Then he said, I also wanted a megaphone if it's not too much work. So of course, there's the megaphone we have there. And he hadn't told me any pointers for a logo design. So I sent him some stuff about 2 or 3 times until we agreed on a cursive font. Then I went in and I picked 4 cursive fonts, and he picked this one right here as the logo. So then I went into Blender. So I went in and I started in Blender. Now I just want to quickly talk about file management. So all my projects have 3 files: an assets folder, an exports folder, and a project files folder. I would recommend, if you're doing client work, don't have everything in just one folder that just stacks and stacks, because as you're working with someone, changes get requested, things get added, and it becomes really confusing mess. So have some subfolders. So this one, I'm going to go into my project files, and of course I just have one blend file. We're going to open that up, and here it is. So here's the font right here, the text. It has been converted to a mesh. It's no longer an editable text object. And the reason why I had to convert it, because when I had this placed at a slant and then I needed to animate it, I needed to apply the rotation. And if it's just a text object, it won't let you do that. So here it is, the mesh. Of course, here is the megaphone, and I did not model the megaphone. This was downloaded from TurboSquid, royalty free, all that fun stuff. So first thing I did was I took this and added a bunch of loop cuts in it so I can start designing. So this was just straight. There were no loop cuts going this way. So I added them so that I can go in and add these lights right here. So if I just press play, you can see it's just strobing just like that. And if you've seen my blinking lights tutorial, you'll remember how I did that. These are not separate materials, it's just one. If we go over to the UV editing, you can see those are the unwrapped faces right here. So I just projected from view, then I unwrapped it basically, and then this is, each dot is one of these things. And so what it is, you can see I scaled all of them down to 1 pixel so that when I'm working with the texture, I can play with it and it's strobing rather than sort of lightly moving through the texture. So you can't tell that that's a noise texture. You can just tell it's blinking lights. And if we go into the nodes right here, click on that. Let's see, this is, we'll go to slot 2 here, and this is the node setup. So right here we have rotating by 360 degrees this noise texture, along with some purple and a purple emissive. So we'll just pause this here. So you can see slightly different. This one's a little more rough than that, so I left it there to give it some more interesting look. Sorry, kind of glitched on me there. So yeah, we just added a little bit of fun with the roughness, give it more design along with the strobing. And then yeah, it's very simple. We just took this color ramp and just played with it. So I put it around here, and then you can see with the detail, if you play with the detail and the scale, everything strobes around and goes crazy. So it's a pretty simple design. And then I went in and I just rotated the Say It. I didn't want it to just stay still. I thought that was kind of boring. So always when you're there, when I'm designing, always make an extra effort to add some color and add some movement to just make it more visually interesting. And for the rotation, it's rotating on 2 axes, the Y and the Z. So I just didn't have it one rotation, it actually does it. So it's a little bit more interesting. Always go in and add detail and add something, and just put a little bit of extra effort in adding detail with movement and color and lighting. And if you want to see the lighting here, it is just some point lights. So, not point lights, area lights. This one here, and this one here. Pointing there, so that, and they're also there's some pretty strong lights. See, this one's at 1,000 This one's at 1,000. This one, okay, so they're all at 1,000% on the strength, and that's pretty much as high as they're going to go to show it. And then, of course, the text is beveled so it catches that light rather than being flat and sharp. So now that I did that, I sent it to him. He loved it. Amazingly, he didn't ask for any changes. So all I have to do here is export at 1920 by 1080, as well as 1920 by 1920 as a square so we can post it on Instagram for promotion. So we have those two aspect ratios, and we have this 1920 by 1080 aspect ratio. So while he's doing his playing his shows, this will be playing in the background, and every 5 seconds, this will do a rotation. So it's pretty interesting, not crazy. And the reason why I want to keep it simple for the live shows, because there's always a VJ called a video jockey, and he's going to be doing some overlays that make it strobe, things like that. So it gives him flexibility to play with the clip while Say It is actually playing on stage. So there you go. This is sort of the whole project. Pretty simple. A lot of them are more complicated. I have a conference intro animation that'll be coming up, so that'll be a really hefty video. I think you guys will get a lot of information from that. So yeah, for the first client project video, I hope you guys enjoyed this. Hope you learned something, and thanks for watching.